I'm April Cummings with a look back at some of the stories making headlines this week. A new government in power and new ministerial assignments revealed. Premier the Honourable Wayne Panton thanked the Deputy Governor for facilitating the new government's introduction to the work of the civil service. Radio Cayman's Dion Anglin has more.
In a statement, Mr. Panton says he and his cabinet colleagues are eager to begin tackling the business of the government in a way that positively impacts our diverse constituencies. Mr. Panton says ministerial responsibilities have been aligned around the key priorities of the administration. For example, he notes the Ministry of Education will have policy continuity and a streamlined focus in a more strategic portfolio. The Premier says it is the first time in over 20 years and 6 administrations that the same minister has continued as Minister for Education. As to his own assignment, Mr. Panton says as Premier, he has also chosen to retain a smaller portfolio, which will allow him to coordinate the work of the administration. However, he has created a ministry to address the existential threats posed by climate change. Premier Panton also says that improving the lives of our people will be, quote, at the center of everything we do, which is why they choose to align responsibilities around labor and employment to tie in with the Ministry of Finance, as well as social development to benefit from innovation and inward investment opportunities. Reporting for Radio Cayman News, I'm Dion Anglin.
One of the most tense and dramatic aspects of the transition each election is the formation of government. And with the packed independents led by the new Premier Wayne Panton now at the helm, Cayman Brac East Member of Parliament, the Honourable Juliana O'Connor-Conley, addressed the House and spoke to why, after running with the Progressives, she chose to move over to the Independents.
I was given the mandate from my people as a current minister to return in a ministerial position. I fought as assiduously and as with my friends across, and indeed they are my friends. I spent the last 8 years with them. I don't have a lot of family in Cayman, and the PPM became my family. And I know that it was a political risk as persons who have not yet walked down the road of putting country first and really being put to the test to prove that country is first, would perhaps capacity to have an illegitimate expectation that I was turning my back on a party that I ran with and encouraged other people to support.
Ms. O'Connor-Conley says she did not turn her back on the Progressives, calling the decision one of the most difficult she has had to make in her political career.
God sets up governments and he brings them down. It's not for me to question, but I am mandated to pray for those in authority and all of those in authority. When all possibilities, all matrices had been analyzed, it came to a point that once you reach 10, you could have a government, but a speaker from outside. Once you reach 11, and the Honourable Premier, the member from Newlands, was able to successfully navigate and submit that, I then made the decision. I, Juliana Yvonne O'Connor, without any special interest groups, without any pressure from any standard, that my first duty and calling was to the people of Cayman Brac East, Cayman Brac West, Little Cayman, to ensure that we had a seat at the table in Cabinet.
Ms. O'Connor-Conley says all of Parliament must now work together for the betterment of the country. With the clock ticking on the island's COVID-19 vaccine stock, health officials began to push in earnest to get the public vaccinated.
The vaccines that we currently have, following the last scheduled delivery, will expire at the end of June, the 30th of June. That means that anybody wishing to have the vaccine needs to come on or preferably well before the 9th of June, because you have to leave at least 21 days before you have your second dose.
That's Chief Medical Officer Dr. John Lee, who says vaccine rates in Cayman have been good, but could be better. With some 55% of the population vaccinated at the time of our report, he said he'd really like to see us at 70, if not 80% vaccination rate for COVID-19. With more people vaccinated, travel gets easier, and Cayman gets closer to possibly reopening the borders. Dr. Lee also said there is another important reason to take advantage of the vaccine.
We have been given this gift of the vaccines. We also have the world's gaze upon us, because the world, in particular the United Kingdom, they are aware that these vaccines have been given around to the UK overseas territories, we need to demonstrate that we respect the value of the gift that we've been given and take them. In the face of deaths and people suffering around the world, I feel it is our duty to take the vaccine and demonstrate that we appreciate what's been given, the opportunity that's been given to us.
Chief Medical Officer Dr. John Lee. The Pfizer-BioNTech vaccines are free. You can find out more at hsa.ky. This week, police began an investigation into the burglary of a local doctor's office. Doctors Express said around 4:45 a.m. Wednesday the alarm system went off. Police were called immediately to the scene to find that burglars took off with cash.
We're thankful that this incident took place when our facility was closed to the public and that none of our staff or patients were present. We have an extensive high-definition infrared surveillance system covering the premises and have provided footage of the perpetrators to the RCIPS. We also continue to work closely with the RCIPS in hopes that the perpetrators will be apprehended quickly so that no other businesses will be similarly targeted.
Director and General Counsel at Doctors Express, Samuel Banks there. Police are reviewing the video footage and the matter is under investigation. Cayman is getting a new program to help cultivate a love of reading for the country's youngest residents.
Thrive by 5 is an early childhood literacy program. We've carefully selected 8 preschools that we're going to go in and offer this program.
Executive Director of Literacy is for Everyone, Juliette Austin, tells Radio Cayman they've teamed up with the Early Childhood Association to launch the program in September on International Literacy Day.
Thrive by 5 offers a kind of 3-pronged kind of program. The first thing that we do, we go in and offer our, life's kind of signature curated classroom library. So we make sure that books are everywhere. Then we offer professional learning. We've got a video education series, and we've had contributions from some of the island's specialists in education. And the third, the kind of element that I'm really, really excited about is the family engagement.
To find out more about this and other LIFE programs, visit life.org.ky. And that is a look back at some of the stories making headlines this week. From Radio Cayman's newsroom, I'm April Cummings.